y'all. It's season 3 of the Be Your Own Kind podcast, and we humbly thank you for tuning in. Be Your Own Kind's mantra is there is never an inopportune time to be yourself. In other words, be you without apologies. In this season, I will be presenting nuggets and interviewing individuals that are creating their lane and rocking it. Be sure to check out the featured businesses in the description box and follow us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and pretty much every platform. Okay, now let's take flight. Okay. Hi, Whitney. How are you doing today?
Hey, wait, I just had to check my name to make sure it said Whitney, because you know how sometimes on the like your name will pop up, like I don't know what name I had popped up. So Whitney is good today.
Nice. Yeah, when you're in a meeting, you have to put like a certain name, and then I'm like in like a Toastmaster meeting. So if you have to do the word of the day, you know, some people put it in the title. So yeah, it is great to check that name out.
I need to get involved. I was told to do Toastmasters, and I guess it's just one more thing I need on my plate.
Right. You do a lot, Miss Whitney. I looked you up, and you do a lot. You do a lot. Tell us about a lot that you do.
A lot that I do.
Yes.
I do a lot, and I realized today when I was sitting in the chair getting my hair done that I do a lot. And I was actually thinking about piling some additional things on my plate. And I'm like, okay, but that's next year, right? So that's okay. So first, I work full time. I am a project/program manager for a huge global company. So, so Monday through Friday, as early as 6 a.m., I could be working because I have global teammates all over the world. So, you know, happy medium is 6 and 7 a.m. So in addition to that, I also run my beauty business, which is not necessarily a full-time job, but it turns into a full-time job when I am getting ready to launch new products. I just did a rebrand and I did that while I was on maternity leave, which was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
New baby, wow.
New baby, wife. Just it's a lot of things that I have to juggle. In addition to I became a certified life coach as well while I was on maternity leave. So while most people were resting, a week after I had the baby, I was in becoming a life coach. Like I was in class every Sunday for 2 or 3 hours. So that's my lot. It truly is. In addition to me having some other things that I'm thinking about doing to better myself and better my brand, which is going to take me like a year and a half-ish. I'm trying to get some additional certifications outside of work. So, that's the other thing. I'm getting certified. So I'm a project manager, as I mentioned, but I'm also getting a certification that goes along with project management. So I started those classes. And let me see what else. I think that's it on the professional side. So on the business side, I'm looking at taking some classes to get certifications to better myself, better my brand, become more knowledgeable.
Well, that's what I love that. I love that constant learning, constant involvement. Because as long as you're getting educated, you're staying, I don't want to say hip, that makes me sound old, but you're staying on the edge. I mean,
you're 86, baby. What are you? Because I like hip.
I'm 38.
Okay, we in the same. You better say hip.
Yeah, we both young.
Yes, you better say hip.
Okay, so hip, staying relevant is, I think, this is where I was getting at. People feel like, okay, I'm in this field, I know what I know, but they don't keep up with the education. And it's like even doctors have to keep up with, current advances, because it's different advances of medicine and different treatments. So I feel like we should all apply that to our business. So I love the fact that you're constantly getting certified and constantly staying knowledgeable in your field. So you mentioned your brand, but you didn't tell us the name. What's the name?
Oh, Noirgirlbyjwhit. So that is my beauty brand, but I'm actually in the process of trying to build my lifestyle brand as well, which is JWhit. So the lifestyle brand came about during my postpartum. So I used to blog. I've been blogging for a long time, but it's very time consuming, especially now with the baby. So I was like, you know what? Let me blog about my postpartum journey as a healing for myself. Okay. Because if I, can write it out and share it, and I get my feelings out that way. So I started blogging about my journey, and it was only supposed to be 30 days, right? Mm-hmm. And so people are like, keep going. So I'm like, really? Y'all like this? Y'all reading it, So it was my real raw truth about my anxiety, about how I felt in the hospital, about how things in the hospital affected me once I got home. So I continued that, and I was like, well, let me just blog about this. So I was like, that's a lifestyle brand. So that's where I am now. So it's like, I got the beauty stuff going. Now I'm trying to get the other side going a little bit, and I enjoy it almost a little bit more because it lets people know who I am as a person, like a deeper look, because I was actually always a really private person. So for me to open up about my home life, my postpartum life, it was major, because people don't talk about it. And like the struggles of breastfeeding, people really don't talk about that type of stuff. Hair loss, like I was losing my hair when the baby turned like 3 to 4 months. Like I had no edges, and I knew it was coming because I researched. So I knew it was coming, but opening up about that, taking pictures, like there are pictures of me out there with no edges, and I'm like, dang, I really didn't have any edges. But it's the real raw truth. And so that's what I want to build my lifestyle brand about, because you see lifestyle bloggers and everything looks perfect, right?
Right.
And, no. It's not. Behind the scenes, it's a show. I'm not gonna curse, but it's a show.
It is. I started off as a lifestyle blogger, and it's a lot of commitment. Even though I still would prefer that over YouTube channel because that's more commitment. So I feel like I'm should stay where I was.
Yes, because listen, I was like, I want to do a podcast, because that's initially what I was going to do, was just like podcasts about my my postpartum journey. And then I was like, wait, that means I got to sit down and record too, and then edit, and then I was like, I'll just type it out.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but let's circle back on the postpartum, because I know that you wanted to talk a little bit on that. Do you care to explain some of your experiences in the hospital while giving birth?
Yeah, so I had a near perfect pregnancy. It was fantastic. I had no issues. And then, so we all know, we hear the stats about Black women and healthcare. And my midwife actually is a Black woman. And I was so happy that she was the one that assisted in my delivery. So got to the hospital and everything is going well, and I'm like, I can do this, I can do this. No meds or nothing. And I remember saying, yeah, I need something, like a pain, something to take the edge off, right? And so I guess I did, and the contractions got stronger and stronger. And so I'm like, I need epidural. I need epidural. So this is where it started. So I got the epidural not once but twice. The first time it did not work. I don't think that the doctor put it in correctly, because I had relief for 15 minutes. I remember sleeping for a little bit and then just waking up in excruciating pain. And so my husband, of course, is there, and I'm like, so I'm grabbing him and I'm like, it hurts. I'm like, take me home, take me home, because I'm like, that's my comfort place. And so the pain just got worse. So the nurse is like, okay, this isn't like a normal type of pain. So let me call the anesthesiologist. So another one comes down, and he's like, oh my gosh, you really are in pain, whatever. So they did it a second time, and after that I was good. So Liam's heart rate started to accelerate, and it stayed like that. And it was like that for a while. My midwife was not comfortable, so I had dilated to about 9.5 centimeters, I think. And so she's like, trying to get me to push, because maybe that will help him. So my OB was on call. She was monitoring me. Was not comfortable with his heart rate being so high, and I had developed a fever. So they're like, So, like, she came in, like, my midwife had already prepped me, like, you're gonna have a C-section because, you know, his heart rate is just going up and we don't know why. And they didn't want to risk me pushing 3-4 hours, and he's in distress. So I ended up having a C-section. Everything went beautifully, you know, it was great. Get to the room and they're like, breastfeed. And I'm like, okay, you know I wanted to breastfeed, and we had lactation consultants in the hospital, so I was doing okay until he had jaundice. So in order to push or like help him get it out faster, his levels down, his bilirubin levels down, they're like, well, we'll give him formula so he can pee and poop, because that's how it's gonna happen, pee and poop. So I'm like, okay, not even thinking, like, while I'm giving him formula, and he's probably not going to want the breast because the formula's coming out faster, then he's not going to have to work. So I should have been pumping at the time when I was doing it. So I wasn't. So I had this night nurse. Oh my gosh, this is where it really happened. And she was like, I was tired, and she was like, oh, are you pumping? Because, you know, it's okay to miss one feeding, but not two. So I'm like, well, no, I'm not pumping. I didn't know, you know, the pump was sitting in the corner. I didn't know what that was. It was covered up. So she's like trying to get me to pump. She did not show me like the correct settings, and she was like hurting my boobs. Like, it was on the highest setting or something. So I'm like, no, it's uncomfortable. So I was on meds because I had the fever. The baby was on meds just to make sure he was okay. I had an IV in my arm. I'll never forget that. Or not my arm, my hand. I have carpal tunnel from pregnancy, and it stayed. So I have the IV in the arm right here, in my hand right here. And my nurse is trying to change out my meds. And his nurse comes in, and she's trying to get me to breastfeed while the nurse is trying to give me my meds. And she's like, well, you should do it. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to right now. Like, right. And so my nurse was getting upset because she's like, let me give her medication. It's like 11 at night too. So she's like, let me give her medication and then you can do that. She was like, but I don't want her to miss the feeding, because in the hospital, they keep the babies like on track with their feedings. And I'm like, I'm fine. So it was frustrating. And so I was like getting upset. And so I think my husband had noticed, and he was like, I'll just take the baby, you know, because she was just doing the most. Girl, even thinking about it, I'm like gonna tear up. So I think after they gave me my meds, like, he took the baby, and like, I don't remember what happened after that. Like, when I tell you I had memory loss, girl, I don't know if it's all the medication, but it's like, it jumped. And so when I came home, so, you know, we're in the hospital or whatever, so they're pushing me to breastfeed, and he not latching because we did skin to skin, but not a lot of it. He's on the bottle, he's not latching. I'm stressed out because he's not latching, because they're like, the breast is the best, right, you know. Right. So I come home 7 to 10 days after you have a baby, you go through something called baby blues. So your hormones are all over the place. So I'm going through that, right? My husband bought me a weighted blanket because he's like, this is going to be for your depression, anxiety, whatever. So I'm going through that. And as I'm going through that, I'm triggered by that nurse, like, forcing me to breastfeed and pump. I didn't know how to do any of that. So that increased my anxiety, and I didn't want to breastfeed at all. So I had almost completely gave up. So it was like a month in, and Liam's like crawling on me or whatever. So I'm like, whatever, we do skin to skin. And he latches. And he latched from that day. It was a Sunday. I'll never forget it. And I was like, this is me. Mom. So she's like, what? And so she's like, FaceTime me. So I'm like, and in between that, my eyebrow girl is also a doula and lactation consultant. So she's checking on me. So she really helped me to learn how to like pump and latch and all this. But I say that to say, in between that month, I was stressed. I had anxiety, postpartum anxiety. It was getting worse. But I promise you, from that day that he latched, things got so much better. And he stayed latching up until like 2 weeks ago when I went out the country. And that's because he was like, shoot, mama ain't here. So I was able to breastfeed him early mornings or like late at night. And I was able to pump too. So he did get his breast milk. And yeah, so in between that is when the hair loss starts, about 4 months. And I was getting ready to go back to work. And I was like, it was in May. And I was like, I will lose my edges when I'm getting ready to go back to work.
Right.
No, but it didn't affect me because I had already knew that it was coming. So I was mentally prepared for it. And I was already like doing stuff to, bring my edges back. So here I am. They say the postpartum can last up to a year. I think it's much longer. It's still a daily struggle. That's why I do so much self-care, because I have to remind myself like, it's okay. Right. So I didn't have the depression part, which is what a lot of people talk about, but the anxiety part of constantly thinking my baby's gonna die. So I had a miscarriage a couple years ago. So that increased it, because I'm like, something's gonna happen to him, right. If he's spit up, oh my God, he's choking, he's gonna die, is he okay? Are you, like, even my husband has a daughter, and I'm constantly watching him. Do you know how to take care of him? One night I heard him crying. I jumped out of bed, nearly hurt myself because I heard him crying, because that was the anxiety. Is he okay? Why is he crying? What's going on? It was like, I didn't want to look at him because I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna die. It was pretty bad for about 2 weeks.
Oh my, and you're right. I never hear about the anxiety part of postpartum. Mm-hmm. It's always like the scary, where people want to like throw their kid out the window or something like that. But I never hear the extreme where you're overprotective over the baby. Every little ooh and ah, you like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? I've never heard that side of postpartum.
Mm-hmm. That's the anxiety. So in the process of that, you're going to the doctor, of course, because the baby has to go. And even before, like for my practice, before you're 6 weeks, you can go in and see them prior to that. So I did tell them I was dealing with postpartum anxiety. So they want to keep an eye on me. They're like, call us if you need us. So every time I would go to the doctor, how are you feeling? Do you need to talk to someone? And I'm like, no, I'm good, because I have a really good support system. So sleep deprivation increases postpartum depression and anxiety. So while everyone's like, oh, are you sleep deprived? No, actually I'm not, because my husband is up with the baby. He took off 2 weeks. My mom had retired. So she was here during the day with us, and we're watching Netflix and eating, and then he's up at night. My mom's like, take a shower. And I'm like, I don't want to shower, I'm tired. She's like, take a shower. Right. And she's like, you'll feel better. And she's right, like, okay. And then I have friends that were checking in on me. One of my friends had a baby a month before me, so she was checking in because she's going through the same thing too. Right. So when they say a village, your village really matters.
Yeah, it's the support for me, because some people don't even have that. Some people have to deal with that alone.
It's scary. It is, because it's a newborn. They wake up every 2 hours. They eat maybe every hour, every 2 hours. So if you're breastfeeding exclusively, you're even more tired because the baby is on your boob all the time. Right.
Oh wow. So what types of self-care do you practice to kind of combat that?
So going to Target.
Yes, I love Target.
even going through the postpartum, I'm like, Mom, can we go to Target? It was Target for me. It's Target. It's going to get my nails done, going to get a pedicure, going to get my hair done. It's watching my favorite show. It's just going out for a drive. It's taking a walk. It's, calling up my friends and kikiing. It's anything that's going to make me feel good, even if it's taking an extra long shower. Those are the types of things that I do pretty well. I don't talk to people often, but those are some of the things that I do. In addition to, like, this sounds weird, but running my business is self-care to me, because is like a step away from everything. So creating the content, still have a beauty business. Sometimes I have to like make my face up or do whatever. That's all a part of self-care. Taking a nap. I took a half a day today because I needed a break. I just needed a break. And I recognize that because oftentimes as women, we push ourselves, and we, especially when you become a mom, it's like no days off for the mom. If you take a break, you're a bad mom. No, I'm a good mom because I'm recognizing I cannot be my best self if I'm not fully rested and energized and in a good mood.
I love that. I love that. People equate emptiness to being a great parent, but really you're just an empty parent. Like if you don't fill yourself up, you have nothing left for this kid, and that's when resentment, comes in. And I'm not a mom, but I've seen a resentful mom, and it's like, go take a nap. Like you need a break. Go do something for you, because right. It's just human nature to just get worn out when these kids want a lot, and they're constantly and although it makes sense that they need it, they're still taking and taking and taking, and you have to get that moment to fill yourself back up.
Yes, that you said it. You hit it right on the head. Like Liam is turning 7 months, and I'm like, dang boy, like you don't slow down. It's literally nonstop. And then when he goes to sleep, it's like everybody be quiet. I don't care, like tiptoe. I'll take my shoes off, everything. And it's so funny because during the week, like nobody rings the doorbell, like the delivery people. But something about that weekend, I'm gonna have to let those weekend drivers know, do not ring this doorbell, because they ring. And I'm like, if y'all wake him up, y'all taking him with you.
Quiet. I said quiet.
Right, everybody, the whole house shut down. We have an ice maker, and I'm like, nobody's using that while he's asleep. I don't care. But figure it out. I don't care. You should hear me in the morning trying to get up and take a shower. Oh, it's extra hilarious. I'm really like tiptoeing because I'm like, I can't wake them up. I can't, I gotta hurry and shower. Like that stuff is real. So on the weekends, when I could take a shower in peace, I do it, because during the week it's like, hurry up before he get up. I gotta hurry and get ready for work, even though I'm working from home. But if my meeting is at 7, he could wake up before 7, and that's when my mom gets here. So now I'm pushed back because I gotta stop. I gotta feed him. I gotta change him. He's crying, and then I gotta get myself together.
Right.
So yeah, showers matter to moms, especially when we can take them uninterrupted.
My sister says that she had, my niece is probably around the same age as Liam, and she's in the bathroom for a very extended period of time. When I go visit my mom, I'm like, what is she doing in there? And she eventually, like she told me recently, that is my me time bathroom.
No, for real, like legit. You be in there like la 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 la, and then I be like, ooh, I can exfoliate today. Ooh, I could use my little facial brush. Ooh, I could use this, because girl, you do not get the time to do it. Now the men, on the other hand, they be, girl, my husband takes his showers, okay? Me, I do hot spots. In and out, double dutch. Like it's crying.
Because the babies only seem like they only want dad for fun, but mom for everything else.
You know what? Liam is kind of the opposite, low key. Like he's a daddy's baby, but I think he wants both of us. But he knows his dad is gonna do that little stupid stuff with him, and I'm not doing that with him. So yeah, he gravitates to him more. Because dad is doing all the fun stuff. You come to mama, we not about to be flying in the air and all that. No, especially not with my carpal tunnel, boy. You be on the floor. Now I got DCFS at my door because I just want to play with the baby and my wrist went out. We not doing that. We playing it safe, okay? You got time for that.
So what prompted you to start a business in the beauty field?
So, couple things. Okay. I've always been lip gloss popping, like since before time, okay? Like, my lips stay looking like this. I will go to bed, my lips look like this. Wake up, my lips look like this. And crazy enough, my lips are super sensitive. So I think I'm a little bit, either I'm allergic to peppermint on my lips, or whatever ingredients these people are putting in their products, their lip balms, not agreeing with me. I started like breaking out like little bumps, rashes, itchy lips, crazy. So I'm like, and I'm like, if I'm having this problem, is other people having this problem?
Right.
You know, type of thing. And then finding products for Black women that look good on our skin, and that's like a whole nother thing. So that's really kind of what prompted me to start, is because I could not find oranges or purples or reds. And I'm like, I'm walking into Sephora and I'm like, okay, you know, hey. And they got this orange that don't look good on me, you know? And I'm like, well, I want to wear orange too. Because if you notice, a lot of brown girls really don't wear loud colors, because we be looking like this and that ain't our color. Right. Or we be looking like this and that ain't our color. You know, we want to wear this, but that ain't our color, you know? So whenever I choose products, I make sure it looks good on like different shades of brown, not just the light brown or dark brown. I want to get to the dark, you know. Right. So that's pretty much like what prompted me is looking for products for my complexion. Number one, it's as far as lips. That's as far as I'll go. I can't do all the other stuff. This is my full face. Okay, I'm just missing the lashes. Looking for products that fit the brown girls, as well as making it affordable, because I'll find something, but it's $30 for a tube. I'm not gonna pay for that. Right. Or, you know, the stuff that they're putting in the product is burning my lips off. So it's like, come on now, you know. And then too, crazy enough, I think I just said this on Instagram, but I didn't know. I always thought that you had to have like hundreds of thousands of dollars to start a brand, like a beauty brand. Mm-hmm. No, you don't. I mean, eventually, I would want that money to do more, but all it takes is to start. That's all it takes.
So did you come up with your own formula of lip gloss, or?
So yes and no. So I started off with handmade vegan glosses, which can be customized, right? But then people started asking me, "Oh, do you have lipstick?" And I'm like, "Nah." Like, I ain't doing that. Now you can make them, but I don't have time. You just heard all the stuff I was doing, right? Right. So I don't have time, but I'm in the process of when it comes to like the formula. So I know what's in it. A lot of people are allergic to coconut oil. So if you're allergic to coconut oil, I'm gonna let you know it's coconut oil in here. A lot of vegan lip gloss bases have coconut oil in it, and I think it's primarily because it's a cheaper oil and you can get it. But I try to get more like vitamin E or different oils, because a lot of people are allergic to coconut oil. And plus, I like the vitamin E formula. It's like a little bit thicker. So I've been testing out like different formulas and everything, but I ain't in the lab like that. I mean, I took organic chemistry too, but you know,
that's impressive.
We're not in the kitchen cooking, nah. And then, you know, people probably be shocked, and I'll be like, nah, I have vendors all over. Like, I have several vendors, you know, on the East Coast, up in Canada. Like, I have different vendors, and I'm like, send me samples. Okay, I don't like it. I ain't gonna do that. What else can we do? Okay, I like it. Yeah, no, that's too thin. That's too thick. It's a process. So before I even put something out, I'm testing it. So it's August, right? I'm testing fall and winter stuff right now, because I need to make sure the consistency is good on not only my lips, but others' lips. What does it feel like? If I'm talking to you for a long time, do I get that white stuff in the middle, on the sides? Is it gonna agree with my lips? What is it like in the heat? What is it like in the cold? You know, so it's like, it's a lot of testing until I get comfortable. You know, they change formulas all the time. So It's not like I could just be like, all right, I'm cool with that. No, they might change it up. And then y'all coming at me like, what happened? And I'm like, it's the same. Oh, it's different. Y'all ain't gonna catch me like that. Nope.
I know I first met you at a pop-up shop. I don't know. Where was it? I don't know. Where was it?
In Madison, at the Holiday Inn.
Yes. Yeah, and I purchased a bright purple from, and I'm like you said, I'm not one of those people that do the bright colors because it doesn't look right on me, in my opinion. But I have a picture with it on. I probably should post it right. And I know.
Y'all hear this?
I was feeling myself. I'm gonna post it.
The pop-up shop was in June, I think.
I feel like it's coming for me.
I want to see too. You know, you need to slide in my DM. I want to see the picture too.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you tonight because clearly I've had it for a while, and I look so pretty. And I didn't look weird, and it wasn't like, cause matte. I actually wasn't mad, cause sometimes I don't have the best experiences with matte lipstick.
Girl, and that's another reason. I had one matte, and I don't remember what brand it was, and it was like itchy, and it made my lips crack. My lips were hurting. I was like, literally, like my lips were stuck. I'm like, is it glue in this stuff? And I was like, oh, that's why I was like, matte. Y'all want matte? I was scared, but they all right.
I mean, they last forever. You know, don't get me wrong. You can drink, I don't know, a jug of water and it'll still be on there. But you're right, it gives like that chalk, dry, type of feel.
Yes, my mattes, they do not do that. They last for a long time. That's why people with mattes, you have to know how to wear it, and it's not putting on 2 or 3 coats, because if you do that, it might be on, for the next month. I'm not responsible. You need 1 coat, 1 good coat, maybe 1.5, depending on your coverage. With a matte, if you trying to, wear it to work for the day, it'll wear off depending on how much eating and drinking you're doing, but you'll probably be solid for the day. Like 1 coat.
You'll be awesome. You'll be
awesome. 1 coat, trust me. But if you're going, out, you're gonna be out for an extended time. You can touch it up. But I rarely touch up. Now that I'm thinking about it, I rarely touch up my mattes when I do wear them.
Right. Well, I loved what I got. It felt so. It lasted. It was silky. My mouth wasn't all. My lips wasn't all chapped afterwards. So I had a really good experience. I probably owe you a review now that I'm talking.
Yes. Y'all hear this?
I'm flipping. Look. I wear many hats just like you. Now I'm making excuses.
Right. No, but I get it. I know, because as business owners, we depend on reviews. And so whenever I see like my business sisters like, can y'all leave a review? I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna leave a review. And then be like 3 months later, like, I'm a brand ambassador for a Bliss Bar company. And she's like, I need pictures of like fresh faces. So I'm like, oh girl, I definitely got you. 3 weeks later. It's so bad, but I 100% understand. So anytime anyone slides in my DM and leaves me a review, I am so grateful, because it's so hard to get them. And then I hear people like, you like, oh girl, I was popping, I went on a date, and I'll be like,
can I get that picture? And I took the picture with the intent to post it to advertise you, and I didn't remember until we had this conversation. Like, oh yeah, I purchased.
That's okay. I do the same thing. I mean, to be honest, I do the same thing. So I get it. As long as you send it tonight, then I won't be mad.
Okay. Bad. I will do that. But Noirgirl, that is a popping brand. I see that everywhere. I saw that before I knew who created it, though. Yeah. I finally got a face with a name because you were on our mutual friend Miss Metchi's her Thursday show, and when she shouted you out, I'm like, that's who she is. Okay, so yes. I heard about your product before you. So that's actually the great
ambassador. She is a faithful brand ambassador. Like, when I say I can't wait to blow up, because she is definitely coming with me from from jump, Metchi has always been like one of my biggest supporters, like putting me out there when I don't want to be out there. And I'm like, no. She's like, come on. I'm like, no. You know, so she really be pushing me, because if it was up to me, you wouldn't even know who I was.
Yeah, she has that effect on people. People need to see your face. Be consistent. Okay, bye.
Right. Bye. But
you come with work.
Because, yeah, like it's funny because she does that to me, but as her like business coach and consultant, that's me, Metchi. Why are you not doing this? I saw this. Change this up. Do this. You know, and then she'd be like, all right.
She don't like when you give it back. Like, wait, okay, bye.
Like, all right, girl, I'm gonna do what you say now. I'm gonna do what you say. I'm like, okay. So it's a mutual thing, you know. We got to do that for each other, though. We have to.
Yes. Well, I was gonna ask you a question about the motherhood during the pandemic, but is Liam your only child, correct?
Yes.
So you didn't have to deal with the homeschool and...
I did. So he's the only child that I birthed, but I also have a stepdaughter that's 11.
Oh yeah, you mentioned it.
So we did have to deal with the homeschooling, which was not so much as a challenge as it was for other people. And it's still not much of a challenge. I mean, it's one of those things where it's typical stuff like, you need to check her homework. You need to make sure she, you know, is doing it. But the adjustment, she just said she don't want to go back to school.
Oh.
It wasn't, the whole family was at home, essentially.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't much. If anything, that's probably why I ended up with a baby, because that stress. So really,
had to release a little stress, you know.
Dealing with, you know, homeschool, I think it became challenging because at the time we were in a 2-bedroom apartment and everyone is at home, right? So it became a space thing where, okay, she's in her room, she's fine, but then I have a meeting, I have to present, my husband has to get on a call, we're both in the same area. Okay, now I have to turn my vanity into my desk because I have to present. You know, so it became a space thing, or it's like, can you tell her not to be so loud? I'm on a call, you know. And at the time, the company I was at was a little bit more uptight, but now they have me bringing the baby on camera, dogs barking, cats running across the screens, like. It's way different, but even being pregnant during a pandemic, I was more cautious. So my husband didn't let me go to the grocery store. As a matter of fact, have I even been to the grocery? Yeah. When's the last time I went to the grocery store? Oh, see,
wow.
He didn't let me go to the grocery store. He didn't really let me do a lot of things because we didn't know what this thing was. Nobody knew. So if anybody was going to get sick, he's like, it's going to be me, you know, type thing. So we were like more so really cautious because of me. But other than that, like my doctor's appointments, everything, like I felt pretty safe. My only concern was, can he come to the doctor with me?
Right.
Oh, can he be at the hospital with me? Oh, he can. All right, we good.
Yeah, I was concerned about that with my sister because with her first child, we were all able to be in the room with her. But when she had her second child, only her husband could be in there. So she had mom on FaceTime on his phone, me on FaceTime, you know, on another phone, because we just wanted to be there and make sure everything was okay. It was a weird experience, like not being able to be there. But I mean, her husband was more than capable, but you know.
Yeah. Right. Like my mom really wants to be there. So that's kind of the sucky part. But she got to experience doctor's appointments with me. So whenever he couldn't go, she would go, and she, you know, heard the heartbeat and the ultrasound and all that stuff. So she got to experience that part. But like being at the hospital, so we were there for like almost 5 days. And she was, because when you have a C-section, you're there a little bit longer. And so it was so funny because I got discharged late on a Sunday. And my mom goes, what's taking them so long? She was like, I want my grandchild. This is cruel. She was like, I'm getting ready to come up there and break y'all out. she was like, okay, what's going on? Like, you know, because I'm like, oh, I think I'll be home, but we had to wait to make sure his bilirubin levels went down. So we couldn't get discharged, you know, until his levels went down. So it was like, I was off the meds. I was just chilling, you know, like, hey, we ready to go. You know, what is it? So it was, you know, that's probably like the only thing. But other than that, like I hear a lot of horror stories. I didn't have that. I really didn't. I know my child is from God, and I knew we was gonna be blessed anyway. So it was like I was just going through the motions. Like, hey, what we doing? Can I take a nap? Who's feeding me? Yeah. That was it. Don't touch me. Just look at me. All right. Yeah, that was it.
You kind of had the luxury of not having people rubbing your belly during that time because you're at home.
Woo,
so you didn't have to deal with that going into work and everybody's like, oh, can I touch your stomach? And you have to get awkward. No.
No, not today. Weirdos. No. Can I touch your hair? No, it's a
weird. That one.
Child. That's a whole nother topic.
That
right?
is a whole nother
I'm scared to change wigs at work because I have a longer one. You probably see me in it all the time. I'm scared to put this bob on because they're gonna be like, did you cut your hair? The one lady already asked me, she's like, did you cut your hair, do something different? It was my regular hair. I was like, nah. No. She probably looked at me like, because I think I wear like a wavy one, then a straight one. So they probably just like, so if I come to work with this, they are absolutely going to be like, did you cut your hair? And I'm going to have to come up with something real clever.
Yeah.
I already know. Get on Zoom like, good morning. Oh, new hairdo. I'm like, yeah, the old one to be back later this week. And I'm like, what?
This is the new me this week.
Blonde highlights one day, black the next.
That's what I love about us, though.
So we can transform and transition, and
I love the versatility. So here on BYOK, we have a special question. If you could describe yourself in one word, what would it be and why?
Girl, really?
Yes. I was gonna change the type of question, but everyone is always stumped on this question. So
because, girl. Okay, if I could describe myself in one word, one word? I don't know. I'm gonna say
I'm gonna on this one if you need to.
I'm gonna say humble. I'm gonna say humble. And I say that because I look back over my life and I think about where I came from often, okay? And when I say where I came from, I mean making 25, 30,000 a year and thinking like, man, I'm on, you know? And then being stuck at 40,000, right? Like stuck. And at this time I have a master's, okay? A whole master's, stuck. And people saying, oh, well, you know, this is starting, you don't have much experience. What? And then finally getting out of that, and then now I'm stuck at 50. And it's like, I'm stuck, you know, like, you know, so it's like when I look back, I'm so humbled by my experiences because they really taught me to appreciate everything that I have now. Every hurdle, every challenge, every business. Well, yeah, I got scammed before. Thank God I got my money back. Wow. But, oh yeah, girl, when I first started, sis scammed me. But I keep receipts. I screenshot everything, okay? When it comes that part, I screen, especially when I'm not dealing with, or I'm dealing with another small business. I don't play that. I screenshot everything. I'm gonna have my proof. But it humbles me because whenever, I never feel like, I'm probably never gonna feel like, oh, I made it. But when I rebranded, relaunched, and I made in a month what I had made the entire year, I was like,
wow.
Like, y'all really like it? You know, it's so humbling when you hear people like compare your products to these big name products, or say, hey, I tried your stuff, it's so much better than, you know, this other brand. And I'm just like, really? You know, like little old me? And it's just humbling. And I think that's where I am at this phase in my life, is that everything is humbling. Like, knowing what I went through to have a child and have the child, you know what I'm saying? Like, knowing what I went through with men and to be married, you know, knowing where our professional career, to have a place that is willing to drop stacks on me to get a certification. It's humbling. It is, because I honestly never thought I would get here. It's, you know, you be out here in corporate America working your butt off.
Yep.
And you just be like, oh, I need a break. And then when your break comes, you be like, what? Like, I'm almost waiting for the other shoe to drop, because I'm like, I cannot believe this is happening. But then I think about, like, I prayed for this.
Right.
I don't do that manifest. I prayed for this.
Exactly.
I asked God for this. So it's like, enjoy it. And I'm at that phase of my life where I'm enjoying it. I don't know, you know, when whatever's gonna happen, I don't know from one day to the next, but I am loving every moment. And if COVID taught me anything, it's to do what you say you're gonna do. That's it.
I love everything that you just said. I think it's funny how we pray for things and we wait for it. We cry, we roll over. God, when is it coming? When is it coming? And, you know, of course, that's the preparation period, but I always call it just uncomfortable. It's just totally uncomfortable. Yes, and then when he finally, like, landed on your lap, you're like, is this what I asked for? Then he's like, well, now what?
Now what? I gave it to you, so
you're ready, you're prepared, you know. So the fact to still be at square one in that humbling phase, that means, like, you don't forget where you came from, you don't forget who gave it to you, you know, and you don't take for granted the blessings that's, you know, in store for you, you know. I think it's human nature to think that the other shoe, I'm not good with those things, but the other shoe is gonna fall off, because especially when you struggled a lot, you know, in the beginning of life, you're just realize in your 20s, just struggling. You're in drama. But I realized when we get old, I think it was always our state of mind when we were younger. And then now when we get older, it may be the same drama going around us, but our mind is different.
So different.
That stuff don't matter. That's half that stuff ain't none of my business.
Yes. Will you preach?
You know, and so it's like I'm looking at, because all that mess is out of my purview, I can see all these blessings.
Yes.
You know, that God has bestowed upon me. So yeah, I love what you said.
Yep. Not that mess. And I think it was when I turned 30, it was just like a light bulb, like boom, and things just kind of like started to change. And your friendships change. You know, you hear that no new friends. No, I've gained some beautiful friends.
I love
it. I'm open to, you know, having more friends or building more friendships, because you never know how those people are gonna play that role in your life. And I'm just here for it. You know, it's lit. That's, you know, it's lit. I'm here for everything. Like, if I got a babysitter, I got a little coin in my bag, I got an outfit that's gonna fit, if my wigs is clean and straight, I'm ready.
I love your checklist.
I'm ready. Look, I gotta be a checklist now. Oh, and I got gas in the vehicle, because, honey, I be hopping in and be like, ooh, babe, can I take your truck? Oh, all right. Because it's real out here.
I love it. So you're saying you got certified as a life coach. You're working on your fall line for Noir Girl. Anything else you want to let us know that's upcoming?
So Noir Girl is dropping some new stuff. So it's crazy. I was sitting, I have this diamond collection, right? Yes, I've been trying to drop for the last month, but something in me, it's like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. Like I have all the product, I have everything here with me. Like it's just something that's kind of like holding me back, telling me to wait. So it's like I wanted to launch it in July, and then I was like, okay, coming in August. And I don't know what it is yet, but I'm gonna just wait, and when it feels right, I am gonna drop it. But I have a diamond collection. It is a variety of colors. So the tubes, the gloss tubes actually match the lash pins. And so that's what I love about it. So it's going to be gloss, it's going to be lash pins, it's going to be lashes, and then a lash tool. And it's going to be the diamond collection because it's all blinky and it's really cute. But I'm just waiting on the right time to, drop it when it feels good. And then I'm going to go ahead and release it. So that's probably like the next thing coming up. And I am working on another certification. I don't want to put it out there yet because I'm like, who's going to pay for that? But the next certification I'm working on may lead me to another business. I don't know. We'll see, because so here's the other thing that COVID taught me. Always have some extra coins in your bag and some backup plans, because you never know when these jobs were laying people off because they had to stay afloat. Thank God I transitioned. I left one company and went to a company during the pandemic at 5 months pregnant. I wasn't with my current company before I got pregnant. I was 4 or 5 months pregnant when I left my other job and then left my other company and went to another company. Okay. And
wow, that's a miracle to be pregnant and get a new job, less known in the midst of a layoff period, like a major layoff period.
God knew. That's why I said it's a humbling experience, because God knew. God knew I needed to be paid on maternity leave. God led me to this company that pays for maternity leave, unlimited PTO. We didn't miss a meal. Now the other place, I'd have been selling my wigs probably, because we had to move because that 2-bedroom was not going to suit us.
Right.
God gave us a place big enough for my family and 5 minutes away from my mom's house, who is Liam's primary caretaker while we're at work. You can't tell me that wasn't God.
Wow, look at that positioning. Look at that positioning.
We have been trying to move for like 3 years. I kid you not. We have been trying to move for 3 years. And nothing was coming through. And I'm getting mad. Like, I'm mad. Like, why can't we move? I ain't got no space. I'm mad. I have 2 offices if I want. 2.
Wow.
You cannot say. That's why I'm like, it's a humbling experience to pray for something, for God to like really answer your prayers. And you see that. Like, it happened. We moved in September. My mom retired in December. I had Liam in January. I switched jobs in August. So August, September, girl.
Wow.
I was about 6.5 months pregnant, 7 months, something like that, when we were moving. I was like, we getting up out of here.
Wow, this is just so inspirational, Whitney, because there are people listening to this right now that's just waiting on that change, waiting on that moment, waiting for the prayers to be answered, and this is why it pays to be happy for someone, be inspired by someone, versus the whole hating thing or the whole I wish it was me type attitude, because to me it's like she's been waiting on this thing, and God, and we don't know how long you've been waiting. But he was positioning you the whole time, preparing you the whole time. And so then he just gives you everything at once, and it's right. And it's an inspiration to that person that's still waiting and holding on. And I want to tell that person, keep holding on. It's right around the corner. Keep praying, keep persevering, stay faithful, because it's right around the corner.
Like, and it's crazy. It is, because it literally is like, we wanted to move for 3 years. Like, and when I say it was crazy, because I was like almost about to settle just because I wanted to move. And it was like, God was like, not yet. I'm talking about down to like half the money, didn't have the money. They're like, oh, your credit score. I'm like, my credit score is fine. Like, it was just crazy. And then for us to be in this place, and it's like, we have the money, We had the credit score. It's by my mom. Like, we're making more. Like, my salary increased by like $35,000 during the pandemic. Okay, benefits. Like, when I tell you, steps were ordered. So God knew, even down to having a baby, because my mom retired. So prior to that, if we had the baby prior to my mom retiring, who was gonna keep the baby?
Right.
Daycare? Okay, yeah, but that's another bill.
That's a lot of money. I've heard some daycare bills.
Me too.
They almost a car note. They're more than a car note sometimes.
People, I've heard a whole check will go to the daycare because that's how much it is. Wow. So when you think about like why you're not getting selected for something, or it keeps, getting turned down, or you haven't launched this yet or something, your steps are being ordered. Every denial, it started to be almost okay with me, because I'm like, God got something better. Even jobs. Like, I literally was turning down jobs that was talking like big money, and I'm like, it don't feel right.
Right.
So I'm not.
You gotta go with the feeling. You gotta consult God first. You don't want to just jump at the first opportunity.
And I've done that, and
yeah,
it ain't a good thing. So it's like, I don't even remember applying for the job. That's the crazy part. I'm like, I'm literally on the phone like, what? Yeah, and I'm thinking, when did I apply for this? And I'm thinking, I'm got a big old round belly, but
that's fake for real, because people don't switch jobs pregnant because of maternity leave, because you have to be at your job so long, to qualify for it. But look at the job you replaced that didn't even have like a period,
from day one. The only thing they said is that disability might not pay me. Disability paid me.
Wow.
They was like, disability may not pay you because you haven't been here a year. I was like, okay. But I wasn't worried because I got paid out my PTO. I wasn't worried because I had been saving. And then, we was getting them stimulus checks and stuff. Girl, I was saving every penny, because I'm like, okay, I might not get paid. I might only get paid 6 weeks.
Right.
The last. And girl, because it got, because my benefits package and everything was so good, I took off another almost month. And I still have 2 more weeks to use up from my parental leave. So I'm going to do that at the end of the year.
Wow. I'm loving this, Whitney. I'm loving this. This is just a good feeling, because we, like, on social media, we always see end results, but we don't hear about the waiting period, the discomfort, the anxiety, not knowing, hello, are you up there, period, what I'm saying?
Because I sure was like, okay, Lord, now I got this baby in my belly. Oh, what up? Like, Lord, I'm really pregnant. I was like, girl, I looked at that test, I said,
right, then you got pregnant, like, it's just like everything all at once. Yeah,
I get diapers now, like, what am I doing with the baby? Like, Lord, we had plans to go on vacation. What you want, dog?
Oh, what you doing?
You messing up the flow now.
But even with you sharing your postpartum experience, people need that, because there's so many people right now, like, look at me phase. And people are looking for the real. They're looking for someone they can relate to. That's why people probably were like intrigued with your story, because it was real. It's like, hey, I'm holding on faith, but I'm having some bad days too,
Oh, definitely having bad days. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I still have bad days. They're not as bad, but they are bad, and I recognize that. And I'll, my key thing, like, I'll tell my husband, like, I'm tired, and he'll be like, okay. And he already knows because I don't say I'm tired. So for me to say I'm tired, he knows I'm tired. So he already knows, like, go get in the bed, put the blanket on you, and next day I get a good night's sleep or whatever. He's like, you good? Yeah, what's up? So it's like, you have to be upfront, and you have to communicate that, because y'all know me and a little, never mind. But
they don't pick up cues. You have to legit say, I'm tired.
You gotta write it down. I'm tired. I like snatch my wig off, looking, I'm tired. Like, oh, babe, you took your wig off?
It is time to go to sleep.
It's time to go to sleep. So
it's the self-awareness for me though. It's the, hey, I need a break. I need self-care. I need this. That's what I'm loving about this conversation. It's not a, you know, I'm just going to run on E. I'm just going to run on fumes. It's like, nope, I'm approaching E, break, you know?
Yep.
And I love that. I love that.
I mean, down to like even my mom, like I think sometimes she recognizes this, so she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take the baby." And I'm like, "Okay." You know, yesterday she's like, "I'll bring them back later." Okay, now sis, what's later? Okay, because you're not gonna have him out all night. You know, y'all running the street. You know, but even still, me getting off work and then having an extra hour and a half to just chill. Like me and hubby just chilling and talking and vibing. We don't get that, you know, all the time, because when we get off work, I get off work before him, and it's like, okay, my mom's like, okay, here's the baby. Sometimes he's asleep, but still, it's like off this job onto that job. It's right. I'm used to getting off work and taking a nap. No, ain't no nap unless he sleep, and then he sleep for like 20 minutes. And then he like, hey, and I'm like, wait, you know. So it's like, you know, you get to that end of the week, or, you know, sometimes it's like, I need a break. You know, I do. So like on the weekends, I try to let my husband sleep in till like 11, 12 o'clock. Because he does a lot, you know, at night for me, and then just getting up. So it's like one of those things where we have to trade off too. Where it's like on Sundays, I try not to really bother him too much, let him chill. And then on like Saturdays, I notice that he kind of like, you know, kind of lets me chill. Once he gets up, we tag team it. Because we have to. The weekends is ours too. So if we got something to do, we have to be able to be like, I send him calendar invite. Like, it sounds crazy, but he's that type of person that if it's on his calendar, his phone, I can't just tell him. I can't just write a note.
I love it. Because I think it makes it easier. It's better than those stories. Well, I'm exhausted, and you know, he's chilling watching sports and stuff, and I'm like, well, what is this other able-bodied person doing?
Oh, we don't play that. I mean, when I got pregnant, I was like, we got a game plan, right? I said, because you're the night owl. So you about to show your stuff off, right? So at this hour, you're the night owl, because Mama's been up. Mama been up with him since 5:30 this morning.
Oh, wow.
You're the night owl, right? You know, so it's like, show your stuff. Go ahead.
I love it though, but I do really, really love the teamwork, because it's real teamwork. You know, it's authentic and it's genuine. You know, but anything else you want to add before we end?
Nah, I have fun with you. I hope I get to come back. I hope people not like, oh Lord, don't bring her back.
No, most definitely. I would love for you to come back. You're always welcome on the platform.
Oh, thank you. And it's fun to kiki with you finally, because I like hearing. I knew you too before I like saw your face and everything. So,
oh wow.
Yeah. It's good
nice to hear.
I be checking on people when I hear stuff. I'm like, oh, what's she doing?
What's she over here doing?
What's she over here doing? So yes, it's so good, to chit chat with you, and I think we had a good conversation and we vibe. So hopefully we can vibe in person before the Delta variant shut us down.
Yes, most definitely. I'll let you know when I'm coming to Chicago. I live 2 hours away.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, most definitely. And listeners, I hope that you have captured some of these nuggets, that Whitney has been sharing with us, and to just keep holding on. Your prayers are not going unnoticed. They're right around the corner. And so next time, I just hope that you all just be your own kind and be kind to each other, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. Bye.
Bye.